incredible. So definitely excited to welcome Laura Larson. You guys, she's been shopping with Melaleuca for about 8.5 years. She decided to start sharing 4 months later. She was a customer at first. So she started sharing in the revenue sharing program since August of 2014. She's an executive director too. She has a repeat monthly income of $4,500 every month that she can rely on. Her and her family can rely on. That's just incredible. Her cumulative earnings are $662,000. Congratulations, Laura. That's awesome. Laura has 91 directors and above in her organization. Wow, that's so awesome. She's a mom of 2 kids, 23 and 17, and she's been married to her husband, Dan, for 19 years. So Laura, I'm really excited for you to be here and to share your story with everyone on our team. Laura is so gracious with her time, and we really appreciate you being here. Lots of excited people ready to hear your story.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for asking me. I loved when I got your message. I was like, yes, I'd love to share. So again, yep, I've been here for 8.5 years shopping, and I was just a customer in the beginning. I could see when I got to see the overview, I could tell the products were better and safer, and that's what I was interested in. I was a house cleaner at the time. I used to clean 35 homes a month for 25 years. It was a crazy amount of work, but I chose that profession so I could work my job around my kids, not pay for daycare. And unfortunately, I developed a lot of health problems from being in toxic chemicals my whole life. My mom was also a house cleaner. So that's what really intrigued me. When I got to see the Melaleuca overview with my husband, he was like, wow, if anything, we have to shop here. So that's how I started, just shopping at the store. And I switched over all my clients for the cleaning. I didn't tell them. I wanted to see if they could notice a difference from going from bleach and ammonia to the plant-based products. And it was really amazing because I kept getting calls from my house cleaning clients saying, what are you doing differently? And all I could think about was I clean a lot of natural stone. And I thought, oh goodness, I ruined something in their house. And I said, is everything okay? Like what's going on? And they said, well, our kids always use a nebulizer at night. And they're not anymore. And I was doing their bed. I mean, I cleaned everything in their home, sheets, linens, all the bathroom stuff, blankets, and everybody was having significant health improvement. Well, I knew that my allergies and asthma had gone away. I used a nebulizer 5 to 10 times a day my entire life, never made the connection between being in toxic chemicals. And guys, I used to run around with my mom, cleaning homes, having my 7-year-old hands in bleach water. Literally, that was my life. And so I just started getting really excited that people were seeing difference, and they wanted to know where I was shopping. Like, where do you get these products? How can I get them? And I really had to think about that because I was just a customer. I didn't really know what to do. And so I decided to start referring. I went to my friend Bonnie's house that shared with me, and I watched what she did, and I thought, oh my goodness, I could do that. If she could do that, I could do that. She's just reading a book. And so I ventured out my first month just to start sharing the store. And here was my goal. So I was just telling Jessica, I was #1 in the company of Norwex for, let's see, gosh, I've been here for almost 8.5 years. So 4.5 years prior to that. And it was all about cleaning. And that's why I went there. I loved it. Phenomenal products, but not affordable for most families. And at the end of the day, I was selling to my friends and family, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I started referring shoppers in August of 14. And I remember thinking, what if I could make enough to purchase the vitamins, because I didn't make a lot of money. We were always at the end of the month with no money. And so I ventured out in August of 14 and just said, I'm just going to be all in and refer a few people and see what that looks like. So I did. I referred 20 shoppers. I knew that I was off pace at the time, so I referred 20, and we advanced to director 3 in our first month, and I had a really nice check, almost $3,000. So I thought, I'm paying off our debt with that, but I kept out enough to buy a pack of vitamins. And it changed my world, guys. So prior to this, I did meds for 8.5 years for lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, Hashimoto's thyroid, and celiac disease. And guys, I was diagnosed when my daughter was 2. I was 34 years old. And how I found out the day before, I think I cleaned 2 houses. I ran 6 miles. I did a party. At that next morning, I woke up and my limbs quit and I could not move. And my husband called the chief of staff here in our little town. I was their house cleaner. And he said, something is really wrong with my wife. And her limbs are not moving. She can move her head. She's crying and she can't move. We don't know what to do. And he said, bring her to the hospital. He's the one that diagnosed me with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. So of course, back then I didn't have melaleuca and I didn't know really what to do. So I was put on a lot of medication. 600 milligrams of Plaquenil every day, 1 pill equal to 6 ibuprofen every 4 hours, adding in 2 Aleve every 2 hours on top of that. And it took about a month, and then I got my mobility back. And guys, I did that for 8.5 years. All I can think about is my poor liver. Then one night, I woke up and the same situation happened and everything quit working. So my husband took me back to the doctor and they immediately wanted to put me on chemotherapy shots. And I declined and I pulled myself out of the chair and we walked out and my husband was like, what do we do now? And I said, I'm going to take care of myself with food. I'm going to figure this out. So I'll be honest, I struggled for about 2 years. That's when I was introduced to melaleuca and I saw nobody knew that I had health issues. My friend Bonnie that shared with me, she had no idea. She just knew I worked really hard and I was running around cleaning houses and I'd do another one to make another $60, whatever that may be. She knew I was a hard worker. So with my lupus, I just was thinking, what if that nutrition helped? So I took it to my doctor because I just wanted to get their take on it. I was also high risk for heart disease. So I saw a heart doctor every year as well. My mom had 4 heart attacks at 47. So I've always been very careful about my health. And I showed them the nutrition and my rheumatologist said, nutrition will cause you more harm than good. And I thought to myself, that doesn't make any sense. So I left and I came home and ran the information past my dad. He's very health smart. In fact, he's 82 years old this year. He still works, runs, chops wood every day. He's on the Total Peak Performance and just super duper healthy. So he did his own research and he said, there is no question you need this nutrition. So I said, would you take it with me? And he said, is that the price? And I said, it is. And he said, I can't afford that. I said, I'll buy it for you. So I helped my dad get his nutrition because he lives on $600 a month for everything. And so my doctors asked me, would you come back in 8 weeks? And I said, well, I was thinking 90 days because I was thinking about our 90-day guarantee on everything. And I said, okay, I'll come back in 8 weeks. And he said, numbers don't lie on a blood test. Now, this is straight from the doctor's mouth. So I'm like, sure, I'll come back. Got a blood test. My inflammation markers that were off the charts, and that's why they wanted to do chemotherapy. I mean, I was swollen everywhere, guys. They were sitting at a normal level in 8 weeks. And he was speechless. He didn't know what to say. Then my heart doctor was looking at my cholesterol. It was 393, and they wanted me to do a statin drug. And I actually did that for 2 days, and it was Lipitor. And my dad saw that prescription, and he threw it in the garbage. And he said, don't take a statin drug. And so I started the nutrition. 8 weeks later on a blood test, my cholesterol dropped from 393 to 159. And my blood pressure, 148 over 92. Now it's 104 over 67. I just had all my blood tests done last week. And the nurse kept going, I'm going to do this a few more times. I think my cuff is broken. And I said, why are you concerned? And she said, well, you're 50. And most people are on lots of medication and they're not that healthy. And so same thing happened with my husband. He was like 120 over 68. So it was like perfect for him. But so I just continued on the nutrition, and I go back every single year. My doctors look at me like I'm crazy every single year. I know lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, everything is still there, but I don't have symptoms. And guys, I walk like 5 to 7 miles a day and I feel amazing. I thought I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I was 40 years old, and I turned 50 this year and I feel awesome. So I can't say enough good things about the vitamins. The other thing that I add in is Provex Plus. Anybody that has any kind of breathing issues, COPD, asthma, allergies, Provex Plus is phenomenal. I take one a day. When I had COVID, I took 3 a day, and it definitely helped my lungs. But I no longer take any kind of allergy pills or allergy shots. Simply just that. I haven't had an asthma attack in 8.5 years, and I used to use that nebulizer 5 to 10 times a day. So there is nothing about my life that hasn't changed from the nutrition. And I think everybody at the bare minimum needs peak performance for sure. So the cleaning toxins, I always say this with people too, they can take great nutrition, but if they're still using bleach and ammonia, it is not serving them, because that's a big part of our health problems in the first place. And that's where I got educated, guys. I didn't know. I was in the field of cleaning, and my mom actually cleaned homes from age 16. She passed away 9 days after her 60th birthday from lung cancer. And that's where I got my education, is from my mom's cancer doctor. He said, you have to figure out what you're doing and change it. And I'm thinking vinegar. I'm not cleaning my house with vinegar. And so I was so grateful to find Melaleuca. But he said, what we put on our skin, our scalp, our face, 26 seconds is in our bloodstream. Figure out how to change it. So that's kind of my story here. Anything else that you want me to share?
You know, Laura, your story is so incredible. I love it. Yeah, if you could just touch on, you had mentioned to me before this started about Norwex and always having to start over again every month.
Yes. So,
So,
and really my mission when I started Norwex, I didn't want to do that. One of my friends roped me in. She knew that I love to clean, and it was not too long after my mom passed away. And I kind of felt like it was a sign. I didn't know how to change from bleach, ammonia, soft scrub, all those things. And it was cleaning with water. I couldn't wrap my head around it, but I decided to go check it out. And I basically did it because I love to clean. And I was like, Jessica, let me come clean your house. And of course, anybody would take you up on that. So I did that for 4.5 years. But guys, at the end of the day, I will never forget. This one month, I worked super hard, 23 parties. On the other 7 days, I was delivering product, talking to people. I never saw my family. And I thought, what am I doing? I have 2 amazing children and an amazing husband. And I start over every single month at 0. And that was stressful. And I just decided I just want to clean houses, and I gave it all up. And then it was that August that I was introduced to Melaleuca from my friend Bonnie. But that was painful. And so many people do that. And you're really the hard worker when you're in any kind of business. You're the person that works super hard. I had 168 people working with me, but only 10 people maybe doing parties, and I did like 23 a month. So it's just so different. Melaleuca it's so different in every way. I love doing parties. In fact, I'm getting ready to do one this week, and I haven't done one in like 3 years. So just because of all the COVID stuff, and I am excited to be in front of people, but just to know that we share with people, we're just switching. We don't sell, we're just switching stores. If you see it's a fit, great. If it's not a big deal. I'll reach out to somebody else that might be open to looking at better, safer products. So the whole business model is just completely different. And I think of this, when I was cleaning homes and I was sick, I never got paid. And I was sick a lot with lupus and RA. And when I'd have flare ups, guys, I was in bed for like 7 to 10 days. You can't make up a house cleaning. So I kind of went backwards financially. And then I always think about this last January, I had COVID the last couple days of the month. The entire month of February, I was in bed. I couldn't even get out of bed. It was awful. And on March 12th, when I got my paycheck, it was almost $5,000, and I did nothing but sleep and get well. That's the difference of this company. And I mean, it just blesses us tenfold. Just go out and share. It'll come back to you. So that's my take on Party Plan.
Yeah,
So,
incredible. That is awesome. So does anybody want to come out and ask Laura a
yeah,
question
any
or
questions, feel free.
comment? Jeffrey?
Well, I don't want her to think I didn't listen, because I did listen. But, I just want clarification. I know someone who has, lupus. And anyways, and they do say that the peak performance has helped them tremendously, and they wouldn't, go without it. But it sounds like you believe it's a complete combination. It's not one thing. It's getting the toxins out of your home. And it's, I know you're taking the Provex CV Plus.
Mhm.
I guess my question is, did you leave anything out? Because I take peak performance, but I also take quite a few additions. And I take, I've had a poor immune system my whole life. I mean, before I moved to Florida, I was on antibiotics 3 or 4 times a year. And one time the doctor couldn't figure it out, and they put me on antibiotics for a year straight. Can you imagine? And just
You're
every
my-
day. I will tell you, on the counter, best year of my life, never got sick.
Wow.
But the second it was over, like 10 days later, I was sick.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I take I'll say extra, and I'm not worried about it because my life's better. So Provex C, I what I'm talking about. I might take 3 a day.
Mhm.
If I'm sick, I might even increase it.
Right.
So I mean, I guess I'm asking, what else do you take, or did you name everything?
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll share. So I do the total peak performance. We're getting 2,400 vitamin D in there, and I believe, I always think COVID was from the people being deficient in vitamin D. Every person should take 5,000. Like, that's the minimum. I take 8,400 a day. So I add in 3 separates of vitamin D. And then Phytomega, because I have hereditary high cholesterol. I know that the combination of what's in total should be amazing for our cholesterol, between CoQ10, all the omegas, the cardio omega. That should be good enough. But I've always felt like I have hereditary high cholesterol, so I do add in 2 Phytomega in the morning and 2 at night. And then, now that they've changed up total, has the Replenix Advance. Well, prior to that happening, I took total that had the extra strength, and they're 3 a day because it was in there, right? And then we added in a Replenix Advance. Now I've turned that around. Advance is in total, and I take 4 Replenix a day. And it's because I have so many joint issues. And that made all the difference for me. So at first, when our packs were changed, I did not realize that extra strength was out of that. So that I could tell a huge difference. So I add that back in. What is my other thing that I take? Let me think. At night. Oh, the Provex Plus is the one I add in the nighttime. And I just do 1 a day. Again, when I had COVID, I took 3. I heard a lot at this ELC we were just at, how incredible Provex CV is. And we're getting, is it just 1 a day in total? I think it's 1 a day. Is it 2? Okay, 2, and then metabolic has 4. Okay, so I heard from lots of people that they take extra Provex CV, just that it is phenomenal. So that might be something that I think about adding in, but that's basically it. I don't do the fiber wise. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm allergic to chicory root fiber. It just gives me a horrible gut ache. So I do psyllium husk, which is a great, just all natural fiber. I wish that worked for me. I try it every now and again, and I always get a stomach ache, and my husband's like, stop, why are you doing that? But I have found that that's something that really bothers me. Anything else that I take? I think that's pretty much it. But I know what else. If ever, and I learned this from my naturopath guys. So with lupus, My organs are my immune system is attacking my organs, trying to shut them down. I will get bladder infections, yeast infections, kidney infections, rashes that come out of nowhere. And so when I had a prescription for a bladder infection, it caused me to have like stroke-like symptoms. And I thought I had a stroke, but it was really the medication. So I'm like anti-medication. My naturopath said, when I feel like I'm having any kinds of symptoms like that, if you're around, or maybe you're coming down with something and you're sick, he personally told me to take 5 extra flora a day. That's what I do. And I haven't had a prescription in ever. So that's the other thing. If I feel like I'm getting sick, I still love the old Activate C. I have some of those, but we have Activate into our total. But if I feel like I'm ever coming down with something, I'll add them in that or take the drink. And I also do, the other one I was thinking of is the magnesium. I struggled with leg cramps, restless legs, just hard to fall asleep. And since that product came out, I never miss an evening taking the magnesium, and I sleep like a baby. So that has helped me so much. And I have no leg cramps. It's just awesome. Every product is just awesome here. So I'm pretty sure that's everything I take for nutrition. I hope that.
Well, Laura, I want you to, if you will, go over just, one more part. You did you did great. But anyways, it's kind of interesting, I've always, lifted weights. So I've taken a lot of nutritions over the year. And these are the only ones that made me feel better. I felt I really got some performance out of. But talking to my own organization, I like that they think for their own. I'll be like, yeah, it's, I'm talking to them and it's, I don't know, right before an overview in the evening. And I said, I just took my, magnesium. And they're like, oh no, Jeff, you have to take that on the morning in an empty stomach. Now I don't, argue or anything, but I just believe that, just like food, our vitamins and minerals are in our food. And when
Right.
you get them. And that's the scary thing. Like, my gosh, not only I have to take this and hope that it works, but if I don't take it between, 6:15 a.m. and 6:18 and on an empty stomach and this and that, it's not going to work. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you could talk a little bit more about application, because I use the, magnesium because it says, we're like 95% short of it. So if you think you're not short, you might be right, but it's doubtful. So I just take it when I want. You know what I mean? If I make it a berry shake or something, I throw magnesium in there, some creatine from our company and whatever else I want. So anyways, what do you say about application? Because you said you take the Provix CV in the night, but does night need 10 seconds?
Okay, yeah. So AM pack, I eat breakfast and I take my AM pack. And I eat, sometimes I'll have a shake in the daytime with the Activate C. And my protein just to change the flavor and have an orange plant-based protein shake. But PM, I always have dinner by 5 and I take my vitamins right after. And so when I take my fiber is in the evening, at least 2 hours after vitamins. And it's usually like 4 hours because it's going to be about 9 o'clock, right? That's when I've always taken magnesium right before I go to bed. Literally come upstairs, mix it, drink it, go to bed. That's always just been my routine. And so remember when you said, tell me how you do this. I've been on this. I have autoimmune. Do you always take AM and PM? So many people are like, I have a drawer of PMs. Guys, I've never missed a pack. And I'll be honest with you. And you know why? Because I feel like crud when I do. That's how much it's helped me. I eat breakfast, I take them. I mean, I never forget. And I always have to remind my husband. He would forget it every day for a week if I wasn't there going, did you take your vitamins? So set up a timer. I just know I feel absolutely incredible. I don't miss them.
Yeah, so I have it on my table. So when I break my fast, so I'm not someone, I generally don't eat till somewhere between noon and 2, even though I'm up around 8. I just don't. I'm busy and I'm not hungry. But when I break my fast, whenever that is, that's when I have my AM. And with my dinner, whenever that is, it could vary. That's when I take the PM. And then whenever I'm doing, anything else, I just do it.
Well, I'm up at 5 every day, like clockwork. And
Mhm.
so by 7:30, I'm eating something because I'm starving. I'm a every 2.5 hour, grab nuts, a yogurt, hard boiled egg, celery with peanut butter, something. Um, I don't know. I love to eat.
I
So
love to eat too. There, when I was in college and I was really lifting weights, I was a guy weighed 184 and pressed 385. I would literally get up at 3 o'clock in the morning by alarm, slam a protein shake that was already made and go back to bed
oh, funny.
because I wanted you know what I mean? I wanted the
Yeah.
muscle growth, and it really, you know what I mean? I can't say it worked. I have no proof of that, but there's very
Right.
few people in the world at that time that, weighed 184 and could press 385.
Right.
So
Right.
anyways, I was
Well,
fanatical. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you're fanatical. So
yeah.
anyways, when I didn't know about essential oils, and I didn't know about I didn't know bleach I knew it was poison, like you shouldn't drink it, but I didn't know it shouldn't be in your home.
Yeah.
I'm sad, and I used to sell real estate. I'm sad about all these little white locks in all the cabinets, to keep your kids out of the stuff.
Right.
No, why is there that in your house? You know what I mean? Don't
Exactly.
lock it up, have it not be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it seems normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all I know is that when you reach 50, things are a little bit harder than they used to be. So I'm so grateful for Susan and our three. I'm in that challenge right now, and we just did our measurements yesterday, and I lost 7.4 pounds back into the low 130s, which is amazing. And like 125, 130 is that's where I'm short. So that's where I feel great at. And I'm just like, I'm doing this challenge all the way through. So I always get sidetracked. It seemed like I've done probably 7 of them, and I'm on it. Even though I had all those amazing desserts at ELC, I somehow lost that weight, which is pretty awesome.
Laura, I know I am not hungry also, so everyone's not confused, because I am a big eater. When I do snap, I snap. You got to keep your fingers back. In the meantime, I drink, like, this is water right now, but everyone sees me on. I drink this, but it's usually vanilla Melaleuca coffee, and it's this
Oh,
big.
that's awesome.
So anyways, from when I get up till I eat, I'm just sipping on my coffee, and that
awesome.
probably doesn't make me very hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. And the protein in it, though, that's good.
Yeah.
I tell you, I am going to get back on the Total Peak Performance because of this call. I was on Total, and the last time I shopped, they had, what you buy after. They have all these specials, right?
Yeah.
And they get me every time all of them are going in my cart pretty much. But they had a women's peak performance, just the regular peak performance, for like $56.
57 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I grabbed it. And when I took my first AM of those packs, I'm like, there's not enough in here. I'm looking in the pack, and where are they all? So yeah, I'm getting back to the Total.
I just feel like I always tell people, if you're 30 and younger and healthy, take a multivitamin and gut health. That's amazing. But if you have any issues, blood pressure, maybe take peak performance. And then when we're 50, we need to take care of ourselves now so we can save medical costs in the long run. And I just think Total, even, my dad's been on that for 8.5 years, and he's always had prescription glasses. He's 82 this year. And they said, you have 20/20 vision. You don't need that anymore. And he's just like, really? So it's so weird to see my dad without glasses, but his vision just kept getting better. I have to contribute that to Omegas and the NutraView in our Total. And then he had, this is a really amazing testimony. He had a hernia surgery at 76, double hernia surgery. I was with him waiting in the waiting room. The doctor came out to chat with me and said, is your dad really 76? And I'm like, he is. And he said, wow, his insides look like he's 20. He must take exceptional nutrition. And I'm like, he does. And he walks like 7 to 10 miles a day, still at 82 years old. It's
That's
just incredible.
incredible.
So body in motion stays in motion.
That's unbelievable.
So
I keep
true.
learning about Melaleuca products because, like you talk about NutraView. I saw a commercial go by, and I like to see how salespeople sell, like an infomercial. And they had something, this was developed in Australia, and it will save your eyesight and blah, 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 blah. They talked about it. And I said, what if those were the ingredients in our NutraView? And I went and looked, and they were, except for we had like 3 times the dosage,
Or-
and they cost 2.5 to 3 times more, and I didn't trust them at all.
Right.
And then I found out, then there was another one, our enzymes, we had like 3 times the enzymes, and but there was one specifically they were talking about, the one that starts with A right on the top. And that one, I wanted to make sure we had that in there, and I was like, we have that in there, and I don't know, 18
Right.
more around there. But anyways, that's antiviral, and I thought that was really cool because we don't share it like that.
Right.
But I've noticed that with our supplementation, we have all these extra benefits that they're like good
Right.
side effects that you don't even think about, and it
Yep.
blows my mind. Laura,
Well,
it really
at
does.
ELC, they shared Centrum Silver, or I think it was Centrum, maybe Centrum Silver. Mark Atha is so amazing at sharing. He's just so good at picking stuff apart. But he shared, you're watching the commercial for Centrum, and it will say that it's he word it? Having lutein in your Centrum Silver is amazing for the eyes, right? Well, when he went back to study how much was in there, it's like a microgram, and ours is milligrams. It was like so much more, but they never did. So he said, how can they advertise when it's not correct? Well, they never did say Centrum. They just said having a vitamin with lutein, and it has this much in it. So it's the way they word it. But man, if we could compare that to our NutriView, guys, ours has like 600 times the amount in it. And we really have to know what we're talking about, right? So we can share that information with people. So yeah, it blew my mind the way he explained it. I have it in my notes, but it was just awesome. What we have here at Melaleuca is incredible. There's nothing else out there like it.
Yeah, that's such a generic vitamin too. I mean, and some companies still haven't got it. A tablet or a capsule has to dissolve at the right time.
Right.
I mean, the porta potty people laugh as they find 1,000 tablets in there. So you just literally pooping out money for real.
Right.
And they're not targeted. I really, slightly different needs. Men and women have slightly different needs, as you mentioned. Age has slightly different needs. And then you might want to target something, like brain, immunity, just like we target joints, whatever. I don't have any joint problems, thank God. But anyways, I do take the supplements, the advanced. And the reason I take it is a preventative. I don't want them.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I take total for sure.
I don't want anything else. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Laura,
I got it all.
Yeah. How about the good signs? Now, we were just talking about the good signs.
So let me tell you why I don't take the good signs. So I'm severely celiac and have been since I was in my teens, right? So they found out when I was 34, they said I probably had it 20 years prior to that. I mean, I was sick all the way growing up, and they never could figure this out. So I did take good signs, and my husband said, I feel like your tummy is bigger when you take good signs. So I started researching it. I called the product line. There is a minuscule amount of gluten in it. And I get it. It's just like allergy shots. They give you a little bit of what you're allergic to try and counteract that. But when you're severely celiac, one crumb, like literally a dot on a piece of paper, in 10 minutes, I look like I'm 9 months pregnant. So I can't have any. So I don't take it. I don't take the good signs. But now if you have a sensitivity to gluten, it's absolutely fine. If you just don't digest dairy well, it's absolutely amazing. So somebody with severe celiac, though, for me, it doesn't work.
That's amazing.
And I asked for that product. I was like, I need something. I go to the health food store and I'm not finding what if we had it here, I would buy it.
Laura, you cleared something up. When I go to church, I'm looking at the wafers and they're so tiny. And I'm like, why would anyone want, they're tiny and they have gluten-free wafers as an option. And I'm like, how can that really? And now you explained it. Even they have to do that.
They do. So many people have food. We have so many food allergies in our home. We do not eat anything. Like going to ELC was stressful for me because I don't eat outside my home. That's how allergic we are to food. But I have to tell you, I went the whole time and they labeled everything wonderfully, vegan, gluten-free. I never got sick once, and I still lost my weight on R3. It was amazing. And I didn't starve. So it was awesome. But yeah, you have to be very careful. I mean, just touching a bun and touching something, I can't eat what you just grabbed in that basket. It will ruin me if you had gluten on your hands. So we go through a lot of hand soap in our home. Because I touch something, wash. It's like crazy.
I do that anyways, just because a little germ. Not for that reason. I'm just a little germaphobe. You know, if I crack an egg, I wash my hands and then I continue. I just like
Yes.
I'm like that too. That's why I have Soluguard Botanical in every room.
Yep.
They
Yep.
scare me with all this chicken salmonella and egg salmonella. Although I've never had it, I've never known anyone to have it or anything else. But they still got me washing my hands because I just don't want that kind of sick.
Right. It's no fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Well, again, Laura, we definitely want to thank you so much for being here.
Welcome.
This
Thanks
was such
for
a great
asking.
call. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, guys. So amazing
right.
call. Stephanie, do you have any questions, or are you just hanging out?
Oh my gosh. It's such a full testimony. I love it.
Awesome.
Like my story, a lot like story. So yeah, I'm glad you shared, and I know how to take things from here. I don't really have anything to expand on that. That was beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. A lot of changes for me too because of this call. So thank you again, Laura.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah, this was
Anytime.
great.
Nice to meet you all.
And by the way, you do not look 50.
Thank you. Yeah, somebody goes, "You have a how old kid?" And I said 24, almost 24. And I said, I was 10 when I had him, and they looked at me and I'm kidding, but that's good. Keep taking your vitamins. Hopefully that'll help us, right?
Yeah, definitely. All righty. So thank you
Awesome.
again, Laura.
You're
All right.
welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Everyone.